your grandfather left you 436 ounces of gold back then, or your father did, to your parents, and they're saying, well, should we buy this house with the gold that dad left us, or should we stick it under our mattress and take out a mortgage? Okay, let's take out a mortgage. And so those 436 ounces of gold have been sitting under your parents' mattress for the last 60 years, earning nothing but dust. And, that the price of the house in the United States right now, the average price is probably 400,000, the mean price, right in that neighborhood. And the price of gold right now is 2,400, almost 2,400 an ounce, 23 and change. So those 435 ounces times 2350, well, that's $1.2 million. That buys you all $1,022,000. That buys you almost 3 houses. And so not only, and it's earned no interest for 60 years. So it retains its purchasing power, sometimes even accelerates your purchasing power.
In this compelling insight from Andy Schectman, he sheds light on the enduring value of gold amidst economic turmoil. Drawing on historical data, Schectman illustrates how the purchasing power of 1 ounce of gold has surged over time, outpacing inflation and real estate. With an ounce of gold priced at $39 in the 1960s and now fetching over $2,400, the metal has proven its resilience as a wealth-preserving asset. Schectman's analysis underscores the importance of considering gold not merely as an investment, but as a reliable store of wealth.
100%. I mean, the best gift I've ever been given in my life was when I was 19, 20 years old, and I started this company with my father, and he told me there'll be one rule or I'll fire you, just one rule. All right, I can deal with that, Dad. What's that one rule? And he says, you'll buy something, gold or silver, every 2 weeks, period. I've owned the company outright for 2 decades. It's not going to fire me anymore, but I've honored my promise to him. And because of that, I have looked at my metal not as an investment. To me, it's wealth that has outlived everything the world has ever thrown at it, from wars to inflation to depressions to pandemics, everything. And it is of tremendous comfort to me. And there are very few things that, not to mention, that you can leave for your children or your grandchildren or a charity or whatever that has intrinsic and sentimental value. It has lasted the test of time. And in every single metric I could give you, when you talk about it retaining its purchasing power, sure, in back when you mentioned in the 20s, that was a $20 gold piece. That was $20. That's right here, $20 back then. And this $20 certificate, which, by the way, a gold certificate, the difference between it and a $20 bill is that it says payable to the bearer on demand in gold coin. They were excluded, that you could interchangeable. But yeah, that ounce of gold right now, $20 doesn't even buy you a tie, but that ounce of gold right now, 2,400, buys you a damn nice suit and everything else that you need along with it. I mean, you can compare the price of a home in 1960 of $17,000, according to the Census Bureau, and an ounce of gold was $39. And so if you take 17,000 divided by $39, you end up with, and this is to all the people who say it doesn't pay interest, that's 436 ounces, basically. So your grandfather left you 436 ounces of gold back then, or your father did, to your parents, and they're saying, well, should we buy this house with the gold that dad left us, or should we stick it under our mattress and take out a mortgage? Okay, let's take out a mortgage. And so those 436 ounces of gold have been sitting under your parents' mattress for the last 60 years, earning nothing but dust. And, that the price of the house in the United States right now, the average price is probably 400,000, the mean price, right in that neighborhood. And the price of gold right now is 2,400, almost 2,400 an ounce, 23 and change. So those 435 ounces times 2350, well, that's $1.2 million. That buys you all $1,022,000. That buys you almost 3 houses. And so not only, and it's earned no interest for 60 years. So it retains its purchasing power, sometimes even accelerates your purchasing power, and it doesn't do anything. You're right. But in the world of negative real interest rates, I mean, I don't care that we're being told interest rates are 5%. When you factor in real inflation, which they're lying about, because it's an inflationary system. They have to inflate or they default. So in that environment where they lie about inflation, and we know, look, the U.S. Postal Service just raised the price of a stamp by 10%, but inflation's 3%. I don't think so. Inflation's a whole hell of a lot higher. Go to McDonald's once and tell me inflation's at 3%. Go buy some food. Go buy anything but a TV or a electronic and tell me inflation's at 3%. It ain't. So in an environment where inflation is way higher than interest rates and you're getting negative real return on this stuff, an asset that pays no interest but keeps up with the inflation or the debasement of the currency is a whole hell of a lot better than an asset that pays a negative real return in dollars. So look, to me, gold and silver are wealth, period. And it does give me comfort. It is like understanding how to fight if provoked. It gives you calm because you know that, all of the other things that you call investments or that we call stocks or mining shares or treasuries or real estate, whatever, no matter what happens, that gold will never go to zero, ever. And I think you have a better chance of being ripped off by the system than you do someone coming into your home thinking you have gold. And that's, that is as clear as I can be on it. To me, it's wealth. It ain't an investment. And it does give me and evidently gives you peace of mind as well.
In his ongoing discussion, Andy Schectman underscores the importance of consistency and time in wealth building. Advocating for cost averaging and disciplined saving, he emphasizes the accessibility of silver for all income levels. Schectman also recommends reputable avenues for investment, including Eric Sprott's offerings and undervalued mining shares. Ultimately, he reaffirms the enduring value of physical gold and silver as wealth-preserving assets.
It's allowing the laws of compounding, in this case of time, to work on your behalf. And cost averaging is the only way to smooth out uncertainty. And silver, I don't care how unobtainium gold is, and I don't mean to disregard anyone's position in life financially, but everyone can afford 1 ounce of silver every time they get paid. And yeah, it takes a lot longer buying 1 ounce of silver, but so what? You do what you can, the best you can. And it's just like anything. It's like working out or dieting or training to learn how to box. You got to be methodical. You got to be regimented and methodical and pay yourself first. As my buddy and your buddy Robert Kiyosaki always says, the only way to get off, it's the only way to get out of get out of the rat race, get off the wheel, is to pay yourself first and be methodical. And that is the only way to do it. And to me, it's amazing because I still feel like I'm 20 in my head. I showed you my tattoo that I got in Amsterdam. I mean, I don't know, any rational 53-year-old probably wouldn't be partying in Amsterdam and at 11 o'clock at night go get a tattoo. I did because I still feel that way, in my mind. But you wake up one morning and holy crap, you're 53 years old. And, it's amazing what the compounding of time over 30 years can actually amount to, even in small quantities. So that's what I would suggest to anyone is start somewhere. If you're going to work out and start building your muscles, you got to start somewhere. So start somewhere, be regimented, be methodical, and always remember to pay yourself first because there's always a reason to not. But you too will wake up one day and say, geez, I've gotten a lot older. Let the compounding of time work for you instead of against you. And that's how you get out of the way of, being not accumulating enough assets as you get older. So just, any major company that has a good reputation, or make relation with your local coin dealer. Go in and just, every 2 weeks, buy a couple of ounces of silver. Do the very best you can. Buy a 10th ounce, a tenth of an ounce of gold, a 10th ounce gold eagle or gold maple leaf. If you find yourself in a position where you only have the ability to buy things that are paper for whatever reason, you have a brokerage account and you really can't move it. Well, in your neck of the woods, Eric Sprott is the finest and the most well-known and trusted name in precious metals in terms of PHYS and PSLV, the Sprott trusts. I've worked with Rick Rule and with Eric for a very long time. They're above reproach in terms of trust. That's one way to do it. Put a small portion of your assets in mining shares, which are massively undervalued right now. Now that's more leveraged and more speculative, and that's more after you have the base of your physical position. But there are lots of ways to do it. There is no right or wrong way to do it. There is no established protocol or set criteria. It's just do it when you can, when you have extra money, and look at it not as an investment. At least the mining shares are an investment to me, but the physical, not so much. It's wealth. It's there when you need it. And if not, it's the best way to pass money on to your children that carry sentimental value for sure, and a hell of a lot of intrinsic value that, as we have shown, you go all the way back to, the 1900s, early 1900s, and it retains its value, and in some cases even outpaces the best of investments. So you go back to 2000, you take Bitcoin out of the equation, and there is not an asset on the planet that has outperformed gold. And so that's an asset paying no interest. It's the tortoise, not the hare. It just slowly and methodically continues to keep pace with the debasement of the currencies underneath it. And other than the US dollar has done much better in other currencies, it's the inordinate and, I would argue, unjustified strength of a bankrupt country and its currency that mutes gold's real value. But look, it's been at all-time highs against most of the currencies of the world long before it hit all-time highs in the dollar, doing what it's supposed to do. And that is exactly that, retain its value. So to me, not an investment, just a way to trade paper dollars for gold dollars that have been for 5,000 years viewed as wealth. And I don't mean to be trite. I don't mean to, I'm dead serious on that. To me, it's just plain and simple wealth. And everything I've learned in 34 years pays homage to that.
Today, we delved into the timeless wisdom of Andy Schectman, exploring the enduring value of gold and silver as wealth-preserving assets. From historical data to insightful anecdotes, Schectman eloquently illustrated the importance of diversifying one's portfolio with precious metals. Remember, wealth isn't just about investments, it's about safeguarding your financial future. If you found this discussion enlightening, don't forget to subscribe for more valuable insights, hit the like button to show your support, and share your thoughts in the comments below.